Welcome everybody to our webinar, Citrix Endpoint Management, What's New and Next. Our two speakers today will be sharing the latest innovations, including a short demo of the latest mobile workspace experience. You have all joined the webinar in listen-only mode, but you can ask a question at any time in the Q&A console, and we'll be answering these during our Q&A at the end. Our speakers today are Justin Mader, Principal Product Manager, who's been with Citrix for over 11 years and has worked with our mobility solution for the majority of that time, and Chetan Thakur, who is Principal Product Manager for Android at Citrix, and he's been with Citrix for over 7 years, primarily focused on our mobility and networking solutions. So now over to you, Justin.
Hey, thank you, Amy, and good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everyone. My name is Justin Mader, and today we'll be going over Citrix Endpoint Management, along with my colleague Chetan. We'll be discussing things that have just been recently announced and some upcoming functionality and features that will be rolling out into Q4 and into Q1. So let's get started. I'm going to start off with the first slide here that just, anything we talk about in the presentation, although we are talking about things that are already out, just been recently released, or even things on our roadmap, unfortunately, the coming soon tags will have on certain functionality features. Again, it is just that, just coming soon. There's no specific dates, months, quarters that these features are going to be out. So let's jump into the presentation. So first off, I always like to start off, talking about how do customers, how do analysts, how do the market perceive our Citrix Endpoint Management solution? So we'll kind of jump into that. One of the biggest awards that we'd like to show our customers is the Gartner Peer Insights Awards. So the Gartner Peer Insights Award, we received the Customer Choice Award, and this means that when Gartner goes out, one of the biggest analysts goes out and actually talks to customers utilizing our product, the end users that are using it, they get scores, feedback, pros and cons on the product. And from a Citrix perspective in our large enterprise market, we were the sole winner of the Customer Choice Award for that. So it just shows that you, the customers that are actually using the product, you're like what we're doing, you're liking where our roadmap is going, and you feel comfortable using our products within our Citrix Workspace solution. Next up is the IDC MarketScape that was just recently released in 2021. This also shows Citrix Endpoint Management as a leader within all the EMM vendors and UEM vendors that they went out and surveyed. Just continuing, this is multiple years in a row that we have been a leader in the IDC MarketScape. And last but not least, here are just 3 other product awards we got from a Best of Cybersecurity Award, Best MDM Solution, and Best UEM Solution in 2021. And we're recognized from these from various partners across the world. So just wanted to start out like we always do in our webinars, just some recent accolades that we as a product team have won, and a lot of them are thanks to you, the customers using our product and providing great feedback and helping us with our extensive roadmap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand this over now to my colleague Chetan to talk about our mobile workspace experience, what it is, how does it work, and we're also going to demo this. Chetan, take it over. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Justin. And again, good morning, good evening, good afternoon to all our friends or customers who have joined us on this webinar. So, without further ado, let's talk about mobile workspace experience. What exactly is mobile workspace experience? So, before I get into the demos and tell you what it is, let's look at Citrix Workspace with Citrix Endpoint Management and all the pieces that get covered with that kind of solution, right? So you can use the Citrix Workspace to enroll and register your device. With our global app config service, you can pass on configuration for the Workspace app, something related to your session policies on the mobile device. You get a unified app store, no matter what application you have, whether it be web, SaaS, VDI, or even mobile applications on that single point, including Citrix files as well. We provide secure internet access to your applications through our micro VPN technology, or if they're web or SaaS, through our secure workspace access technology. At the same time, we also provide you a single sign-on to all your mobile applications. We can take that insights, from the device, from your device, pass it over to Citrix Analytics to understand the posture of your device, and also, provide conditional access based on that posture. We have, multiple policies in our Citrix Endpoint Management that can be utilized. And also, we do integrate with our partners like Intune Device Compliance to provide that additional conditional access for your Office 365 applications. So this is the power that you get with Citrix Workspace app, and especially when it's combined with Citrix Endpoint Management. So as we move on to the next slide, I would want to talk about how do we do that, right? So what exactly is Citrix Workspace experience, mobile experience? Right, it is basically the power of Citrix Workspace app combined with the device management capabilities of Secure Hub, all into a single application. Right, what we have done is taken our, our Secure Hub capabilities, put it in through SDKs, and combined with the Citrix Workspace app. What does that give you? That single app now provides you the great work experience that the end user requires. And also at the same time, from an admin perspective, you're making sure that the device is still secure. Now, what is the customer value that you get with that, right? So let's go delve into a little bit more about the experience part of it, right? So first, we look at single app, right? What is single app? Okay, so why is single app that important? Well, you don't need to install multiple apps. It's just that one app that I mentioned in the circle can do multiple things, right? It can do device management, provide you the VPN access. It can be that single app, unified app store, no matter what the application is. And also, addition to that, you get access to Citrix files or your files all within the context of the Workspace app. And then finally, seamless enrollment, which you will definitely see a video, but it is so simple that on a click of a button, the enrollment starts, and a few clicks, your enrollment is done. And now, the video that we show you will show you that how it converts into a work profile or into an MDM management for an iOS device as well, right? So that's from an experience standpoint. Now let's move on to what it can do from a security standpoint, because that's very important, right? So think about this as admins, what you guys want to do, right? So first, with your with our micro VPN technology integrated with MAM SDKs that you're going to integrate your applications into, it provides you that secure access to your internal resources for mobile applications. On top of that, if you look at the iOS devices, not only do you get the micro VPN, but you also get compliance, like is the device jailbroken, DLP, cut copy policies for your native mobile applications. If you look at the same way on the Android enterprise side, we have integrated with Android Management API to provide you a similar experience, but here, instead of doing it on a per app basis, what we do is we create a separate work profile, right, which is pretty seamless, and all your applications are within the context of that work profile, so they're secure by nature, and they're not in contact with any other malicious applications, right? This is the perfect BYO solution that we can get, which is with Android Enterprise. And additionally, based on your settings, we can also provide you something which is called long-lived tokens. So that way, your end user does not have to authenticate multiple times, but in a secure way, right? So that way, this also plays in with security as well as the experience for your end user. So now that I have spoken so much about what this does, it's time that we actually look at the demo of how it works. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the demo for the Android device, and we're going to show you how it gets into creating a work profile very seamlessly, right? So think about a user who's actually trying to use the Workspace app on their device, and this device is not enrolled. As I said, you can see mobile apps, web apps, as well as your VDI applications. Now, you can also look at your Citrix files, all within the context of the Workspace. You're not getting out anywhere. But now, when you try to install a mobile application, you have to get out of the context of the Workspace app. So you need to protect that device. Once you try to click on that or install that application, as you saw in the video, your device will start enrollment within a few clicks itself. Now, the device is actually creating, that work profile container, which will make sure that through CEM, all your applications are pushed into, or your work applications are pushed into that work profile container. As you see, it's been created, and it gives you the notice of what exactly it is. And as I said, all your applications with that luggage icon are now being pushed into that work profile container. One thing that you would notice is if you look at the Workspace app, we have automatically, without even having the end user to re-authenticate or re-enter the stored information, we have moved that into the work profile container, which is the magic that we do on our backend. And you can see that workspace app on there. The other thing that I wanted to show you is we're very friendly with our friends at Intune. We also have, the Intune app protection policies that you can put on your Office 365 applications. And one of the examples that we're going to show you is right here. And you can do that all within the CEM console. You don't need to get out of the CEM console. So that's all done here. And a quick example of how, I'll open up a Word document. And this is on top of what you can do from Android Enterprise for Office 365 applications. You can security policies prevents you copy paste, right? Just an example. Also, we partner well with our friends at Samsung. Since this is a Samsung device, we're going to show you how we can use the power of DeX to take that workspace app and put it on to a bigger screen. Like, think about it, that you can take your device to any place and connect it with that DeX cable, and now you have workspace on the bigger screen. You can launch a micro app, right, to do a quick and easy approval of a ServiceNow ticket, or you can use that same workspace app to actually launch an Office 365 application, right, which opens up in a secure Chromium browser, which it's right there, or you can actually open up a Windows session, a VDI session. All this is all happening on a mobile device on a bigger screen, but the experience is still the same, right? So that's the power of what we say is combining the power of the Citrix Workspace app, which provides you all the applications, and the management capabilities of Citrix Endpoint Management, which gives you this kind of experience. And this is currently available. It's GA, and it's available to all our CEM customers starting 21.9 of the server and 21.9 for Citrix Workspace app. So please, if you haven't already tried it, try this experience out. We would love to know your feedback. And what we have done with this is we have made sure that you can work with this experience in parallel with your Secure Hub experience. So that way you don't have to get an additional tenant. You don't have to wait for other capabilities like the other Android modes to come in. You can easily take a few sets of your power users, use the delivery group, use the enrollment profiles, and send them to this workspace experience. So that's what we are trying to do, is so that way on that same tenant, you can use this experience along with the current Secure Hub experience. So, I know that, when I speak about Android a lot, but of course, the question is, what about iOS? So let's show you about what's coming with iOS, and I'll let you know, a surprise news about iOS as well, right? It's a similar kind of experience, we're going to show you on the iOS side. Of course, with every platform, things change. Android has the work profile, iOS has their own stuff, right? So same thing, you get, a user is on the Workspace app here. We can show you that you are actually connecting to the Workspace app, authenticating it, entering your the stored information is already there because you're using username. And this is what I was talking about, the long-lived tokens. So here you go. So once you're on your Workspace app, the same policies goes in there. When you're within the context of the Workspace app, everything is protected by the Workspace app. But when you want to launch a mobile application, you want to make sure that your device is protected. In this case, we're going to show you launching Secure Web. The same screen kind of comes up, which asks you to enroll right now. Of course, there are certain there are certain policies that we need to show for Apple device. So we show you what device management means. There are, certain, profiles that you need to download and install, which is coming from, the iOS platform itself. A little bit different from what we showed you Android, but that's the way you do it even today. Once you do that and install your, profiles, we will let that happen. Right, what you will see is now you're enrolled, your device has now been enrolled, and when you launch Secure Web, now you're able to access your internet sites, because now that is a managed and enrolled device, right? So we're going to launch Secure Web. right here. And as you can see, I can get into my internal Citrix site, right? So that's now on the iOS side, similar kind of experience available for MDM plus MAM capabilities. And this should be should be coming as part of a private tech preview soon. So please, look out for our blogs, look out for announcements, and reach out to us if you want to try this out. Right now, you will have Android and iOS available to you. So that's what we have from a mobile workspace experience. But it's very important for us to know what you guys think about it. So it would be great if you could just go answer a few questions on this poll that's going to be launched on your screen. So Amy, if you can just launch that poll, that'll be great if we can get your feedback.
And I'll just share the results.
That is very interesting. That's awesome, right? So it's great that over half of the folks are interested in moving to this in the near future. So really excited to be supporting this for you guys. For those who are not sure, I'm sure that there'll be time that you will see it. And if you have any questions regarding this experience, feel free to ask those questions as we move to the Q&A, and we'll try to get those answers so we can make the not sure into sure as well. So thank you very much, and I'll hand it over to Justin, back to you to cover some server updates.
Yeah, thanks, John, and great presentations from the iOS and Android side. So let's jump into some server updates, and I already see some questions coming in about mobile workspace experience, so please continue to ask them, and we'll answer them at the end of the session. So from a server update perspective, there we go. One of the major things that we're doing in Q4 is moving our role-based access control to Citrix Cloud. So what does that mean? Today, RBAC can be all configured and set from a cloud admin perspective or a console administrator within the CEM console. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be moving RBAC over to Citrix Cloud. So today in Citrix Cloud, you see endpoint management under custom access or full access, and it's really an all or nothing. And then when you set that custom access or all of nothing, you still go into CEM today and pick which role they have access to, what permissions they have access to. Now what's going to happen, as you can see here, is we're taking that logic and it's all going to be done at the time of the Citrix Cloud Administrator invitation and creation. So instead of having to bounce back and forth, it's all going to be done at a single time inside of Citrix Cloud. So any current admins you're going to have, we're automatically going to migrate the proper roles and the proper settings over to Citrix Cloud. And then once this is enabled, you will also be able to add any new admins as well and pick the role assignment. As you see here, I have the Help Desk Level 2 assignment selected already during the invite. So this is something that many customers have been asking for because this is how other Citrix Cloud services do it as well. So we're going to follow suit and move our RBAC assignments into Citrix Cloud. The creation of different roles and such will still be done in CEM, but the assignments will be done in Citrix Cloud now. So next up is about the device compliance, the Azure AD device compliance. As you saw in Chetan's video on the Android side, opening up Office applications, what we're doing is we take the device posture of Citrix Endpoint Management, all those automated actions, the security actions, the enrollment modes, the authentication modes that you do inside of Citrix Endpoint Management. We send all that over to Azure AD to either allow or deny single-factor, multi-factor, clipboard, copy and paste. We send that all over, and you can apply Azure AD device compliance policies on top of those applications. And this goes with our Better Together story, as I've talked about in our past webinars as well, with Microsoft and Citrix having a great partnership there. So a feature that we're actually very happy to announce, it just went into tech preview. This is called Cloud Connectorless Authentication. So let's say, currently today with Citrix Endpoint Management Service, you contact Citrix Cloud and you do all of your authentication, whether it's from a local Active Directory or an IDP, such as Azure AD or Okta, you do all that through the Cloud Connector, that on-premise component. So what this feature is going to do is actually removing the necessity to have Cloud Connector. So we're able to take Cloud Connector out of the picture and actually talk directly from our service to Azure, to Okta IDP for authentication, for directory services, authorization. There's no longer a need for the Cloud Connector from an MDM perspective. So I'm going to jump into the next set of features, and this next feature kind of goes hand in hand with our connectorless authentication that is available in Tech Preview today if you want to try it. So as you can see from right here, one of the first features is the MAM IDP support. So today, let's say you want to do IDP for MDM or connectorless. What's still required is on the gateway, you're still required to set up either an LDAP connection or using Citrix authentication to a backend PKI server. So what we're going to be releasing very soon is the MAM IDP support. So that means that both your MDM authentication and your MAM authentication for the container are all going to be talking to your IDP. There will be no need to set up Citrix authentication anymore. This will be a full single sign-on all the way through, and your gateway now for the MAM side will talk to IDP. So, and that's coming very soon. Another service that we just went GA with, it's been in Tech Preview for some time, and a lot of customers have been using it, is our reporting service. So once if you're a migration customer, which we'll talk about in a little bit, or you're looking for custom reports, having direct access to a SQL database in the cloud, unfortunately, is not a possibility. So what we've done is we've created this Citrix Citrix Endpoint Management reporting service that basically it's an API-driven database liaison. So you run an API, and it's like running a SQL query directly on the backend database, and it allows you to get more customized reporting for auditing, for compliance trails, for app installation that maybe the CEM Service can give you, but you just want a more simplistic and more granular approach to that. So that just reached general availability just last month. Very happy for that. The next thing up is automatic device cleanup. So this is another feature that's just going to help you, the admins, just with the simplicity of managing the console. So what this feature does is, let's say you set your server property to say, hey, my device has become inactive if they haven't checked back in within 30 days, within 60 days, 90 days. So what you can do is you can create a new timeout to say that, hey, after the device has been inactive for 30 days, automatically remove it from the console. As of today, it is a manual cleanup process. So if you have a few devices in there that maybe that customer moved departments, doesn't need to enroll, left the company, as of today, that is a manual cleanup for those inactive devices. Now, this feature that's going to be released very soon is going to be automatically cleaned up with a setting that you, the admins, create. So after 30, 60, 90 days, or however long you want to have this background job run, it's automatically going to run. And then last but not least, another big feature on the service side is our SAML 2.0 IDP support. So this recently got rolled out at the Citrix Cloud level from an IDP perspective. So we are working on supporting this as well within the MDM enrollment, as well as the upcoming MAM IDP support as well. So these are four big features, very excited, that are either coming out very soon or just released in the last few weeks as well. So. And of course, those are the four big ones, but there's many other additional server enhancements we've done. We went GA with our FIPS 140-2 compliance in the cloud. We've been modifying some of our PKI settings to make it easier to understand who has certificates, what certificate types are tied to devices. We've also added delivery group cloning. So the capability of, if you want to make one small little change to a delivery group, but need it for a different use case, instead of have to rebuild that delivery group and all the policies, application, resources again, you just click the clone button and it moves everything over. You modify the name, make one or two small changes, and it just simplifies the admin experience. We've also enhanced our CDN functionality for our macOS platform to be able to, no matter where you're located, be able to deliver Mac packages, PKG packages distribution across the world, like you're standing right there next to the server. There's no need to have slow latency if your server is in one region and your end users are in a different one. Also, we've simplified our Better Together story, that Microsoft Citrix partnership, especially around the Android enterprise perspective. From our device compliance standpoint, we've also added a global consent, which makes the onboarding of existing end user devices simplified, under the device compliance, similar to what Chetan had showed you in that video. And last but not least, again, around the compliance side, around the security side, is just we continue to enhance our automated security actions that we have, making sure that whether you're sending that device posture to Azure AD, whether you're sending it to Citrix Analytics, or using our automated action notification system, you make sure that the device is in compliance so that when you're providing access to backend resources, of course, the device is in the state that you want it to be. So with that, I'm going to hand it back over to Chetan to talk about some of the platform changes and features we've gone through over the last couple months. Take it away, Chetan.
All right, thank you, Justin. Those really great server updates, and now I need to, showcase similar updates on our client side. So let's start with iOS first. So on the iOS side, what we have done, again, you'll be noticing, a lot of talk about IDPs, right? So, our goal is to work closely with all the IDPs, whether it be Azure or whether it be Okta. So, we are making sure that now you can enroll DEP devices using Okta or AAD, using the zero-touch enrollment. So that is available today as a tech preview. We all know how challenging it is when the new iOS or iPadOS is released. We were proud to make sure that, again, we had day one support for, the latest release of iOS. And, proud to say that what is available today is the optional apps. You can use optional apps, to make sure that policies around auto-updating the optional apps, now that is available today. And also, one of the key requirements that were asked by a lot of our customers is support for shared iPad for business. We already had that. We already used to support the, the for school, but now we support, shared iPad for business as well. So moving on. Now, this is one that I want to focus your attention on, right? I'm sure a lot of you guys have used your iPhones, the Secure Hub Store, as you have seen. And if you look at just the before side, especially on the categories, it was a bunch of folders saying 3.11.1, whatever, and the name of the categories. If you look at the new, experience, which is much more user-friendly, much better, now we're allowing the admins to not only name the categories, but also put in, images for the categories. So that way you can actually go, and if you can see, the GIF was running before of how those categories were moving and the pictures are moving, where you can now see the applications that belong to the category, the picture that goes with that, and what the name of the category is. It's a completely different user experience from what you see before, and this is currently available as a tech preview. So if you're interested, please go ahead and ask for this and try it out. I'm sure that your end users will be really happy looking at this kind of a experience. And here's the GIF running, but yeah. The other part is also, you talk about, we have been spoken about Apple user enrollment. Of course, we support, Apple device enrollment, the automated device enrollment, but, we wanted proud to announce that we are providing a tech preview for user enrollment. Once you try using it and we get your feedback, this will soon be moving to GA as well, right? So this is currently available. We'd love you guys to try the Apple user enrollment tech preview as well. And making sure what else is coming on. So basically you can, now this is actually pretty interesting, right? This is a new support that has recently been added. So now you can, we already, through our MAM SDKs or MDX, we used to provide you the capability to, copy paste support between those managed applications. Now you can do that same thing with managed applications with DLP controls, through our policies as well. So that's capabilities that we're going to add pretty soon. We're also going to make sure that, you can, when you're setting up your DEP device, there are certain screens that you want to add or you want to remove. That capabilities is also going to be added, so that way the admin can decide, what screens to be shown. Also, this was a pretty, requested feature, is we want to make sure that we want to prevent end users deleting certain managed applications. So we are going to put policies so that way you can prevent that from happening. And also, more access to you on what you can, you can prevent certain apps from displaying messages in preview notifications, right? So whether you want to show it always or when device is unlocked or never, right? So you have more controls over when that happens as well, right? So those are all the new features that are going to be coming soon on our iOS or iPadOS. All right, so as we spoke about iOS, we got to follow up with the same things on the Android Enterprise platform. So let's look at what we are coming up with at Android Enterprise platform, right? So of course, Android Enterprise, again, this is, when it's September, October, it's always the time to get the new platform OSs. So, again, proud to say that we have day one support for Android 12 and all the things that have changed along with it. We had sent a notification earlier. Make sure you're on the latest version of Secure Hub before you move to Android 12. The minimum version that you definitely need, I would say, just to be safe, do 21.8, but, always use the latest version, right? The other policies that we're adding in there, which is pretty much requested, is a VPN lockdown. This is something that if you have always on VPN, but you need certain applications, to not be or to still provide access without VPN being on, you can set those policies right there. One of the biggest features that was asked is work profile on company-owned device. A few weeks ago, we just announced the GA for this feature. This is now available on any Android 11 and above devices. You can set these policies up through enrollment profile, and please read the documentation, because if you're using a QR code, you need a specific JSON format to do that. Even with KSP, you need a specific JSON format. So that's all available on our documentation. Please do read on that. And this is the feature that has been asked the most, and you can start using it as of today. And additionally, this was another request that was widely requested, is supporting Android Enterprise with different auth enrollment modes, username plus PIN, username plus PIN plus password, and so on. Now these are also supported with Android Enterprise. So we are expanding the capabilities of Android Enterprise. I mean, I can proudly say today Android Enterprise has way more features than the legacy. If you haven't already moved, please, please, please move to Android Enterprise today. With that, I would say let's move on and talk about what exactly is WPCOD, right? Because this is a very widely asked feature. We just wanted to get everybody to understand what this is, right? So if you look at Android 11 or Android 10 and before that, right? Android 9, Android 10, we used to have a feature which was Scope, which allowed you to have a work profile on a company-owned device. And this gives admin complete access to no matter whether it's the personal side of the device or whether it's the work side of the device. The problem that creates is user privacy. You don't want an admin to know what applications are installed on your device or give access to anything or ability to change anything that is personal to the end user. Hence, starting Android 11, the changes were made. Again, as Google likes to play around with names. The new name is work profile on a company-owned device. Basically, it's a company-owned device that has a work profile. What does it do? It does add everything that I said about COPE. It adds user privacy. What does user privacy mean? Is that now our application has minimum capabilities, or actually no capabilities, to impact anything that is personal to the end user on the personal side of the device. There is no ways for me as an admin to know what applications are installed on your device. I cannot get an app inventory and so on. But still, because this is a corporate-owned device, I have capabilities to do anything with the device, right? So I can switch off Bluetooth, I can factory reset it, but I cannot block any applications. I cannot do anything that is more personal to you, right? This is now available today. If you have a fresh new Android 11 device, you can enroll that device in WPCOD mode. The next step that we are going to get to you is if you have COPE on an Android 10 device and you're trying to go to Android 11, currently your device will not work. We are going to be supporting that transition to that, right? So again, we had announced that much earlier, late in 2020 in February, that please, if you haven't gone to COPE, don't go to COPE. So that's a good thing. People looked at an announcement, and we don't have that many users who have actually adopted COPE. So that's a good thing. But still, the few that actually did go to COPE, we're going to provide them that feature so that they can transition to Android 11 without any hiccups to their devices. All right, so let's move on to the Chrome OS platform. Awesome. One Google to another Google one. So on the Chrome OS platform, I mean, we've had a bunch of policies that are currently available on our Chrome OS platform, but a few ones that were really important to our customers. One was certificate management. So think about it, you can push in certificates. Once a certificate is pushed onto your device, now through CBA, if you have access to any internal application or internal web page, you can actually do that because now the certificate has been pushed onto your device. That also additionally, what we did is also, apart from the certificate management, we also added verified access. What verified access does is it provides you access to make sure that now I can know whether this device is domain joined, whether it's a trusted device, or whether it's policy compliant if you've put in any policies. What's the advantage of that? The advantage of that is one of the biggest things that our customers have been asking for is there an EPA kind of capabilities on the Chrome endpoint? And yes, we can definitely leverage the verified access to be that EPA kind of capability because now if you enable verified access, what we are trying to do is through Chrome native messaging, we're integrating the Workspace app with verified access. So the first thing that the device does is, if this policy is pushed, is it looks for verified access and makes sure that this device is domain joined, is a trusted device, it's not a jailbroken device, it's policy compliant, and so on. And then we pass on that message to the Workspace app, which then decides based on the verified access, whether should we give you access or not. So that's how we are getting this device compliance or EPA kind of capabilities on the Chrome endpoint as well. So this feature that I said is coming soon, and as it comes soon, we'll announce it. But if you want to try out our Chrome device management, it's available today. You can definitely try it out on a few devices. All right. Now with Mac OS platform, let's see what we have in there as well. So, of course, what we have is admin accounts. So we used to provide capabilities for you guys to go ahead and create admin accounts, but now those admins can rotate the password of those accounts. So this is additional capabilities that we've added. We've also added the MD, the support for M1 devices. Again, as we said, we are proud to provide day one support for any new OSs comes up. So we provided support for the Mac OS Monterey's new operating system. And also, what we have done is now you can use your AD authentication for your Wi-Fi policies, whether it is Wi-Fi or it's a network wired policy, you can use your AD authentication for that. So that's the new things that have been added. Sorry, just some background noise over there. And what is coming soon to Mac OS, right? Again, as we mentioned, I told you that there is going to be a specific stuff about IDPs. So now even Mac OS DEP devices can use Okta or AAD authentication. That's available as in a tech preview, just like I mentioned on the iOS side. Additionally, what we can do is, on the login window, the admins can set certain preferences, whether you want to restart, shut down, what do you want to show in there. That is another policy that we're going to add to the Mac OS platform. We are also going to add Active Directory policy options. So that's going to come in soon. And again, as I mentioned, this is going to be talking about a lot about IDP support. So now even the non-DEP devices will be able to use Okta or AAD to enroll. That is also coming soon. So, that's our Mac OS updates. And now we will move to our MAM updates, right? So what is available for MAM? I'm sure that you guys are looking forward to what are we doing with MDX? What are we doing with the MAM SDK? So, what we did last time is, we extended our MDX support, right? And we extended that until March. This was something that, we heard you guys, we heard, feedback from our customers, and we said, hey, we're going to extend that. I know, with all the iOS new platforms or, Android platforms coming in, everybody's anxious about that. So we made sure that we extend that support until March. But in the meantime, that should give you enough time as we keep on releasing these MAM SDKs on various frameworks, right? So if you can look at this on the iOS side with the latest 121.9.0, we have support for Objective-C, Swift, Cordova, and Xamarin. Both of them are now available as tech previews. On the Android side, with 21.10, we actually have native Cordova and Xamarin available today that you can leverage. And then, what is coming soon is converting the Cordova and Xamarin to a GA, and also adding support for Flutter through a sample app and React Native as well, right? So again, adding more and more support to our MAM SDKs, making our MAM SDKs strong, so that way, when it comes in March, majority of you guys have moved from MDX to MAM SDK. And if there is any help needed, we have our forums or our support teams, where you can open up a ticket and they will connect you, with our engineering or PM teams to help you migrate your applications to the MAM SDK. All right.
Perfect.
All right. Thanks a lot, and hopefully those were updates that you guys can use, and thank you.
Yeah, thanks, John. Great platform updates there. So, and I wanted to kind of end. We got a few more slides left. I just wanted to end, with some extra functionality features, and regarding our migration service. So everything that we talked about today, except for the MAM SDK that John just wrapped up, but most of our new functionality features are cloud-only features, including the mobile workspace experience, our Better Together story, everything that we've talked about over the last 3 or 4 public webinars that we've done. So, and a lot of our customers that may be on this call and be seeing this may like this stuff. And we just want to just reiterate the fact that we do offer a free on-premise to cloud migration service. We do have a dedicated team that goes through the entire end-to-end process, from the overall site assessment to the connectivity of anything that's needed, such as the cloud connectors or gateway reconfiguration, as well as directly to the validation of the site, making sure that everything that you had working on-premise still works in the cloud, plus more, plus everything that we've talked about today, everything you saw in the previous deck, or everything you've seen in other webinars for the last year or so. Our migration service has been done by hundreds of customers, and we actually just redid our migration service landing page that's located on citrix.com. We provide data sheets, white papers, FAQs. We've done a webinar in the past that's about an hour long, but what we've also done is we've added new training that's there in that second bullet point there. These trainings are smaller 5 to 8 minute videos of how to migrate, why to migrate, the benefits of migrating. And we're also going to be adding a lot of cloud-only feature use cases. Actually, how are they configured? How do they work? How does it fit into your environment? A lot of on-demand resources we're doing from training perspective. And that's just not just from cloud-only features or the migration, but we're also expanding that to the product as a whole. And that kind of what I'm going to bring up here in the customer resources here. We've actually just launched recently a new cloud e-learning series, which we have made available to free to all customers. All customers, whether you're on-premise or cloud, all of these videos are free to you, and they're helping you with your product journey, from planning it out to building it out to rolling it out, and to managing and optimizing all of your settings, your enrollment profiles, your delivery groups, all of your new use cases, especially the ones that Chetan and I just went over. We're adding a lot of videos here. So when you're going to look through documentation, when you hear a webinar, you see a blog, you see a post on Twitter or LinkedIn on a functional feature that you may want, we're going to be aligning these with the videos as well, so you can actually see firsthand how does it fit into your environment, how is it configured. Again, documentation is great, but just seeing it firsthand in videos, is more beneficial in my opinion. And again, like I said, you'll see we've sent emails out to our customers. You'll get this copy of this deck later on, things like that. But these are free learning, so you make sure that, hey, you've purchased this, you have rolled this out to your environment, your admins, your end users. Let's make sure that you have all of the use cases and just benefit from what you have rolled out in your company. So just wanted to just call that out again. Again, the migration service, the e-learning, please take a look at those. We're adding new videos and new use case docs all the time. So, and with that, I'm going to open it up to Q&A. I see quite a few questions inside here already. So I'll start to kind of just call out questions that I see, and then myself and Chetan will answer. Chetan, the first one actually is for you. How do we get access to the new Secure Hub design? Is this going to be part of an upgrade? How do I request this?
Yes, so the new Secure Hub design, yes, it's part of the tech preview. So we can send you the link for Podio. We can send that as part of as part of the presentation slide that we're going to send. But if you are interested right now, I mean, I could get your you could please email me your information, your site information, and then we can get that for you. So without you to need to fill any forms right now. But if you're interested, please do email me, which is chetan.thakur@citrix.com. Send me your site information and the new the new categories and the stuff that you saw. We'll enable that for you.
Perfect, thanks. And this is definitely a big topic. I know you're gonna love this question. What happens to our applications after the end of life in March of the MDX toolkit?
So there's nothing that happens to your applications. Your applications stay the same. Basically, what you're doing is you're taking the SDK and integrating with your application. So now your application has been embedded with the SDK, and that's the application that you're going to be pushing into like a Play Store, or you're going to keep it as an enterprise application. So there is nothing that happens to your application. It just remains the same. Now, our application has part of the SDK, which is more robust. Versus what we were doing for MDX, where there were more hookings at the lower level of the OS, which could sometimes cause problems as you can see, iOS or Android, platform updates every time. But now with the SDK being integral part of your application, those issues will be minimal.
Got it. Oh, perfect. Just look at these questions here. Okay, so is there any additional licenses required to use the mobile workspace experience?
Absolutely not. You can use mobile workspace experience with the license that you've got today. Again, I mean, it's very important to understand that what we are trying to do with the mobile workspace experience is to get the same workspace experience that you have on your non-mobile or desktop endpoints to your mobile endpoints, right? So of course, I mean, if you want to use VDI, you need the CVAT service. If you want to use Citrix files as well, you need Citrix files as well. But with the workspace premium plus Q, all those things are included. So if you have that, there is nothing additional needed. And as Justin mentioned earlier, this is a cloud-only feature.
Perfect. Yeah, definitely. Now that's why I always cover the migration service, just to let you know that you can take advantage of that free service, move from on-premise to cloud, and get all the benefits we've talked about today, from a simplified admin experience to a simplified end-user experience as well. So the Azure AD device compliance that I spoke about, does this require re-enrollment, or can I add this to existing enrolled devices? So the answer is both. It works with existing enrolled devices. You integrate this into the console, and then Citrix Endpoint Management, along with automated actions you configure, and then we start to send the device compliance to those to Azure AD. So then your existing or newly installed Office applications will go talk to Azure AD and apply the application compliance settings that you have configured to each application individually. So like I said, it'll work with net new or existing devices. Let's see. So the connector list, cloud connector list, will it work with other products? So no, as of right now, the connector list IDP support we spoke about, or I spoke about, that will work right now with Citrix Endpoint Management only. So there'll be no the other products that use Cloud Connector as of today. They will still need Cloud Connector for right now. This is a CEM thing, feature only. But hopefully when this gets more momentum and stuff like that, we can push this out to other services as well. All right, so there was a question which I guess I'll take. What is the difference between the device cleanup and the current kill pill? So the current kill pill is a device side MDX setting. So let's say that a device gets lost, stolen, put into airplane mode. If you're sending like what we have today, a selective wipe or a full wipe or a container wipe, we're requiring the device to check back in. Of course, if the device is off or the device is not in the network, we can't do that. So the idea of the kill pill is to apply that action based upon certain criteria on the device side, irregardless of talking back to the server. The device cleanup that I spoke about was a little kind of after that. It was more at from an admin perspective, like, inside the manage tab under devices, you have, hundreds and hundreds of devices. Some of them may show MDM and MAM grayed out. Some of them may show inactive for 200 days. As of today, that's a manual cleanup. So any devices that are there, and you know for a fact, you the admin know for a fact the device is no longer there, that user doesn't have the device, they're no longer a company. This does automatic cleanup, so you as an admin don't have to go in weekly, monthly, and say, okay, let me go sort by inactive date. Let me check, is this user still using the device? This does it all for you. It's just simplifying the admin experience there. Chetan, there's quite a few, and I see you've been putting some, there's quite a few questions about how do I find the links to mobile workspace experience, WPCOD, the reporting service, and so for automatic app updates. So Chetan and I will add some of those answers inside there. There are a lot of the features that we said that we have recently released. Of course, they're going to be in the What's New section of our docs. We do a great job on blogging this out as well, going to social media. Some of the features people are asking for docs on, they had tags coming soon. So once they are in tech preview, we will have not only blogs for them, we'll put those video series I spoke to you guys about a little bit ago. We'll put videos on there as well, use case videos. We'll make it very, very well known once these bigger rock features come out. So if you don't see docs on them now, it's because either they're not out, or again, check our What's New section, or follow myself and Chetan and the rest of the PM team on Twitter and LinkedIn as well. But if you don't see anything you're there, again, myself, Chetan, the PM team for the Citrix Endpoint Management side, we're always happy to answer questions via email, and always available for help out. So if the automatic device cleanup, if a device is enrolled and does a cleanup, what will happen? So the idea of the device cleanup is that you, the admin, are saying, hey, automatically clean this up once the device is inactive after a certain amount of days. So when a device is inactive after a certain amount of days and you do device cleanup, once the device gets removed from the console, it automatically sets all the certificates, the profiles, the policies, it puts them all out of compliance and revokes them all. So if in fact for some reason that device tries to check back in after, let's say, day 61, and your inactivity timer was set to 60 days, they would have to re-enroll, where you're basically wiping that. It's like just sending like a selective wipe to the device once it gets deleted. Excuse me, trying to look to see if there's anything. Trying to see anything else on there.
So actually, there is a question, which I can try to answer that, which is, in switching to the new mobile workspace experience, will existing mobile users be affected with the change? So actually, that's a great question, and just let me try to answer it from step to step of what I would recommend doing this, right? So, I mean, most of the times I would say never. If you're trying out a feature or trying out something, try it in your dev tenant if you have it, right? So the way it happens is, what you will do is, let's say if you have some users enrolled in Android Enterprise with Secure Hub today, right? And you saw this video and you said, yes, I do want to try it out. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to go and ask or open up a ticket to enable the workspace experience. Everything else is already enabled on the tenant starting version 21.9, right? Which would say Android for Workspace. And we'll definitely share all that documentation of exactly how to do that. Once you ask for workspace access and it's approved, now it becomes really simple. What you do is you go to your enrollment profile. In an enrollment profile, you determine which delivery group, let's say it is a few people that you want to try it out with. You set those to enable workspace, which is right on the top, and and go through that for Android. The applications that you want to send, whatever that is, you can do that just like you have been doing for Secure Hub. And that's it. That's all you have to do. The other part is when you do Android for Workspace, just like you have enrolled for Android Enterprise previously, like you go into Android Enterprise and you create an organization, you'll have to create an organization for Android for Workspace as well. That will be available in your settings, and all that is covered in the documentation. Once you do that, that's it. There is nothing additional that you have to do. And what happens to your mobile users, right? So that was your question. So if that user is not part of the delivery group that you're pushing the workspace experience to, that user, nothing changes. They continue to be part of Android Enterprise with Secure Hub. But the users that you asked to change, they basically will re-enroll into the workspace experience because that starts with workspace. They don't need to have Secure Hub on their device. As you saw in those videos, something that you might have surely missed is there was no flips between any app and Secure Hub. It was just seamless, right? So the users that move will start from the workspace app, as I showed on the video, and that's how they're going to be enrolling their device, right? So they'll have to re-enroll their device, of course, with the workspace app, because that's now controls the part of the re-enroll part of the enrollment.
Hey, thanks, Suchan. There's a lot of questions in regards to the automatic device cleanup. So, does the user receive a warning check before they need to re-enroll with the device cleanup? So the idea of device cleanup, like I said, it's based on inactivity days. So the device would already be inactive and have to check back in X amount of days. What you can do to make sure the device is in fact still active and the end user, hasn't had it or hasn't had a chance to open it, or maybe not extended vacation. We all love those 60-day vacations we're able to take. You can send out a notification, an automated notification, part of our automated actions, and say, hey, if the device hasn't checked back in 30 days, send them an email, send them a text message, or send them a Secure Hub notification that pops up right on the device the next time they're there. And you can let them know, hey, I'm warning you that you haven't checked back in within 15, 30 days, and 30 more days if you're going to lose access to your company resources. You can do this, and you can schedule this automatically to happen every 5 days, 7 days, 15 days. That exists today. We're just we're taking advantage of the automated actions and our inactivity timer to basically delete the device from the console automatically. So, hope that answers your question. And I think it looks like Chitan, thank you for answering all the other questions around docs and things like that. Oh, I know what I wanted to mention. So I talked to you towards the end of the slide, talked to you about the e-learning, those use case videos, and for those customers that asked about how does this work, how is it configured. If you access the e-learning stuff, we have videos on that. How do enrollment profiles work? How does it look like to utilize the mobile workspace experience? What does an admin have to configure? What does an end user see? That's part of those video series libraries, and that's why it's such a great idea to go, take a look at those for everything that we've been talking about in this webinar and others. And then, like I mentioned, everything that's upcoming will also have videos attached to them and so forth. So again, because like I said, docs is great, but just to see it firsthand, see it in the video, see it live in action, definitely speak louder than words in that point. So, and with that said, we're coming on the top of the hour right now. There's a few more questions inside here, but Amy, I'm going to hand it back over to you to wrap things up, and we'll go from there. I appreciate everyone for today.
Yeah, thank you everybody for joining. And if there are questions that haven't been answered that you'd like to get answers to, please do reach out to Shatan or Justin. And we will be sharing the slides at the end in a couple of days, as well as the recording. So you will have a chance to review the content that was presented today. But other than that, thank you very much for joining us. And we will be back in a quarter's time with the next update. And thank you everybody for joining.